On this episode of Gaslands Garage, we will be reviewing the team that won Episode 4 of Televised Carnage, Team Slime. This will be broken down into two sections, sponsorship perks and build breakdown. To start off with will be sponsorship perks. First perk up is Pinball. This perk helps generate free movements when sideswiping other vehicles. In this example, the slime vehicle is going to collide with its side edge along the enemy's side edge. If it declares a smash attack, this will meet the requirements to activate Pinball and generate a free movement forward. Pinball can be very useful, especially during death races and early game pileups. The next perk up is Spiked Fist, which allows the slime team to equip rams for a 0 build cost. As you can see here, it normally costs 1. This perk works great. Most vehicles are limited on build slots. For instance, the bike only has 1, and the car here only has 2. 2 build slots is actually the most popular if you look throughout all the vehicles. Build slots start to get very tight once you begin adding in weapons, most of which cost 1. The better the weapon, the more slots it's going to take, which is where this perk shines. With the ability to equip rams with a 0 build slot, you could be the Oprah Winfrey of rams. You get a ram, you get a ram, you get a ram. Live Fast allows Team Slime to generate votes by having more hazards than hull points during their wipeout step. At first, this perk seems really bad, making you believe your vehicle must almost be dead before you're going to generate any votes. But at a closer look, vehicles like bikes, which only have 4 hull points, will generate audience votes without being injured at all if you manage things properly. With the sponsorship perks out of the way, we're going to move on to Team Slime's build breakdown, starting with the frontman, Reptile. I believe cars are the best can to chassis ratio. With a decent amount of hull points, max gear of 5 and handling of 3, you'll never go wrong with one on your team. Offensively, Reptile is equipped with a heavy machine gun on the front, dealing damage to anyone that enters his forward arc of fire. Rear wheel drive is going to help Reptile activate Pinball and generate free movements. When normally resolving a spin, you will pivot around the center point of your vehicle. In this case, would not collide with the enemy vehicle. When resolving a spin, utilizing rear wheel drive, you will rotate along the front edge. In this case, you'll barely move before you end up colliding with the enemy vehicle and activating Pinball, allowing for free movements. Rams along the sides are going to help generate extra damage while reducing the amount of unintended hazard accumulation. Berserker will help reduce the amount of damage it takes not during its own activation. For instance, if an enemy vehicle were to deal 4 points of damage to it, it would instead take 3, helping it to remain alive longer and active throughout the game. Now onto the team's bikes, Flea and Tick, both of which are equipped exactly the same. Bikes are superb drivers. With a max gear of 6 and a handling of 5, it really feels like you can drive circles around the enemy. Their one major drawback is they are very limited on hull points with only 4. To help reduce the amount of damage they take, I have added Fender Kiss to both bikes. Full Throttle and Pivot were exceptionally useful during the death race, which Team Slime won. At one point after wiping out, one of the bikes turned itself completely around and was able to execute long straights to catch up and overtake the enemy vehicle. Offensively, both bikes are equipped with a submachine gun, which is equivalent to a turret-mounted heavy machine gun only able to shoot at a medium range. That's it for the team's build breakdown. Now I want to move on to some pros and cons. First up, the pros. This team is very mobile, with many vehicles on the field able to activate throughout most gears. It also does surprisingly well in early game pileups and recovers from wipeouts very quickly. There are a few cons to consider in relation to this team. They have no way to deal lots of single target damage. Their low hull points can make them feel like glass cannons. The team can have a hard time generating audience votes, and unlike some classes, their perks are a little bit lackluster. In the future, there are some things I may change about this team. I may take the car and upgrade its machine gun to being turret mounted. To do this, I will remove the SMG from the bikes and give them smoke and mine droppers. That's all for episode 2 of Gaslands Garage, breaking down my Team Slime build that won episode 4 of Televised Carnage. If you haven't seen it, I hope I didn't spoil it. Go check it out. And remember to subscribe for future episodes of Gaslands Garage.